What's up, everybody? And today we're going to be diving deep into the lore of Battlefield 2042. I am so excited for this game. However, I'm going to be covering it a little bit differently than regular games. So, as you may or may not know, there's no campaign on Battlefield 2042. And some people might be disappointed, some people might not be. It means that they really focus on what really makes Battlefield good, is the multiplayer, really. But people like me who play through the campaigns, you know, on this YouTube channel with you guys, it's kind of sad. However, I recently saw an interview with this question brought up about narrative in 2042, and we're going to go over that. But first, I want to build up with the lore building up to 2042 in the new Battlefield game, okay, guys? But before we get started, I don't know if you guys knew, but on the community tab, I released a new schedule where I am now playing video games Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, like I used to do. However, I'm streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays still, so definitely check that out. I'm going to be playing solely Resident Evil Village right now and getting it done with, and then moving back over to Halo 3 and finishing that off. So just thought I'd let you guys know, if you're interested in seeing that schedule in a little bit more depth, go over to the community tab and check that out. But for now, let's shut up, let's pull this up, and let's talk. Let me zoom this in. Let's talk about Battlefield 2042 lore. So this is on the Battlefield 2042 webpage. It's basically going into the world of the game. And we're going to go through this, and then we're going to go through the what the developers said during an interview with Inverse.com. So it says, welcome to 2042. As the world stands on the brink of war, a new kind of stateless soldier emerges from the greatest crisis in human history. How did we get there? Okay, so this is the build-up. A decade of chaos. 2031. 10 years is all it took to bring the world to the brink. Rising sea levels, collapsing economies, broken alliances, and the headlines keep rolling in. October 9th, 2033, Hurricane Zeta, the world's first Category 6 storm. January 11th, 2034, global food fuel shortages spark Second Great Depression. August 8th, 2035, European Union officially disbands following Germany's collapse. Okay, so we've got a few things here that I want to talk about. Firstly, they're really emphasizing climate change. They're really going with the world gets in a really bad situation in what looks like only, 12 years from now. We get a Category 6 storm, rising sea levels. It says economies are collapsing, probably because of the rising sea levels, broken alliances, fuel and food shortages causing the Great Depression, the Second Great Depression. Which again I think is probably going to play into that climate change a little bit. And then Germany's collapse. I wonder what that's all about. Like, are we going to see some of that in the story? That's kind of interesting. It specifically names Germany's collapse, which is interesting. I'm wondering if we're going to get more on there. The rise of the no-pats. Left behind, the displaced band together into a ragtag fleet in search of safe harbor. They are families, farmers, doctors, engineers, and soldiers. The once privileged and the now impoverished, with backgrounds that are worlds apart, forced together, determined to survive. The media calls them the non-patrioted. They call themselves no-pats. Okay, so I love this idea. I love this idea. I think it's a terrible situation, but I love this idea that so many different places around the world are being destroyed through, you know, the economy, through climate change and all this stuff, that a lot of people are homeless and they banded together. Now, when we reacted to this live yesterday, Bootnet Gamer, fellow YouTuber and fellow Royal Marine, pointed out that this is very similar to, if you've watched Falcon and Winter Soldier recently, how I forgot what the name it is, but there's a group of people who, they have no home, they're all refugees, and they're kind of fighting against the government to I don't know, give themselves a place in the world. Now it looks like they're going to do these no-pats are going to do the same thing. But it also specifically mentions families, farmers, doctors, and engineers. So even though there is soldiers in there, it makes me wonder if we're going to get a little bit of like maybe a home base for them eventually. Maybe they're going to get their own like map at some point eventually. That would be really cool, about where they actually stay. Or are they just literally disbanded across the whole country and just call themselves no-pats? No, I think that's really cool, personally. This one, it looks like a little bit longer. Where's my water? There it is. The new normal, 2037. So this is 2 years after the European Union collapse. Humanity adapts to the new normal. Revolutions in energy, desert irrigation, hydraulic levees, and seawalls save coastal cities, reclaim farmland, and rebuild supply chains. Hope of finding stability leads to some nations reopening their borders. So they've started to kind of work against the rising sea levels here. This is a big thing. They've built walls. Now, there is a part in... I wonder if we can... Let's open the media up in a new tab. There's a picture here. Oh, no, it's the boat. There's a picture of a big wall being pulled down. I think it's this map here. You see how there's a big wall in between? You can pull that down, and it makes me wonder the difference between the two zones. It looks like this place is definitely more advanced than agriculture. But then again, it looks like this is more of a solar panel kind of solar system area that may power this area. But what I'm trying to say is it seems like they've really tried to combat the climate crisis in this world, and they've really like adapted to it quickly, which makes me believe that that's going to play into a big role in this as well. Is there any more pictures? There was specifically a picture of them pulling down a wall, which I guess it's not on here. But you can check that out. Let's carry on reading. However, with no way to repatriate. I don't know what that says. 2.1 billion people. NOPATs become a permanent fixture in all economic, military, and social policy making. So they are involved in government there. Many NOPATs are still distrustful of the governments that exiled them and now refuse to call them to calls to resimilate. So basically, what they're saying here is, even though they're kind of making policies and they're kind of involved with that stuff, they're very like there's definitely a big barrier between the NOPATs and the regular government here. There's still like beef. Basically, they're exiled and they're not really like, we don't want to get back into normal society type of thing, which I think is really cool. NOPAT leaders emerge, inspiring a new identity unbound to former nationality, drawing a line in the sand between the old world and the new world. Hashtag We Are NOPATs becomes a rallying cry. So basically, they've seen the world get basically disbanded in a way, right? All these countries disbanded, and they've said, you know what? We don't want it to go back to the way it was. We want something new. Like, this has happened because of the way the world used to be, so we need to try something new. And that's why they're rallying out, and basically they're trying to make a new normal, which I think is really cool, using this hashtag We Are NOPATs. Now, I've been told that we will actually play as NOPATs in the game. That's who we play as. So this is really interesting to see that this is the perspective of what the characters we're going to play in the game. Amidst the world rebuilding, sparks of friction erupts between the US and Russia as the last two superpowers both vie for control of the fast-changing world. So US and Russia, right, again, typical video game stuff here. I feel like every, military game is US versus Russia or US versus China. I get it. Two big superpowers. I'm wondering why them two are specifically going at it. What's the reason for them two going at it where it's not like another country? I think we'll get little tidbits of lore, or is it just an easy way to kind of create a narrative there where we have two countries against each other? But that sounds cool. That sounds cool. I'd love to know more about why their tensions are building specifically and why other countries aren't really going at it like them too. The blackout of 2040. The blackout. So this is 2 years prior to the game kicking off. A sudden space debris storm creates a Kelsier effect, causing 70% plus of all orbiting satellites to malfunction and crash to the Earth. The cause is unknown. So that's strange. Does that affect GPS? Does that affect, when you're able to call things in. Because I know you're able to call vehicles in this game. I wonder if that's something where it's going to play in. So you can't constantly call like a vehicle in or something. I wonder if this is going to play into that, where it's like there's no satellite nearby. There's only a few satellites. I wonder if that's... I think that might be a correlation between them two. The subsequent blackout causes mass devastation. Plane crash, communication grids collapse. Perf, there you go. Already jammed global supply chains come to a standstill. Prices of oil, grain, coal skyrocket unsustainable, unsubstantiated claims report over 100,000 lives are lost. Guys, when I read this stuff, it makes me feel like I can read. My dyslexia can't. It makes me not read out loud. It's one of the things where you're reading stuff and then you get called up at school and you have to stand up and read and you can't do it, even though you can read perfectly. It's really weird. Like, I read a lot of books, but when I read out loud, I struggle. My dad does the same thing. It's I think it's some form of dyslexia, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. So here we're saying basically, because of all them satellites going down, we are losing communication grid. And I think that's going to be... I really think that's going to play a big, important part in comms between people in the game. Jam supply chains, prices of oil, grain, coal skyrocket, 100,000 lives lost. So I feel like this isn't really... That's not really going to affect the game as much, because I feel like it's not like you're going to have a fuel gauge on your vehicles, is it? Or anything like that. I think it's more just giving a bit of a background on why people are kicking off here. I don't think that's going to really impact the game all that much. A world on the brink goes over the edge. No internet, no navigation, no surveillance, no storm forecast. So this is a big one. They showed a tornado going through a city. So storms are going to happen. These big events are going to happen. No internet, no navigation, no surveillance. This is going to be a big part of the game. It's going to be a big part of the game. I guarantee it, where, you know, you only can use, you know, certain call-ins every now and again because of this, and it'll play into that. Geopolitical distrust surges overnight. No one can spy on each other, so no one can trust each other. Both Russia and the US claim the others is responsible for the blackout, while some suspect snowpats were behind it and accuse them of trying to sow anarchy. Ooh, so Russia and the US are blaming each other because they can't spy on each other because there's no comms. But then some people are like, it must be the NOPATs. But how would the NOPATs do it? Because do they have the technology for it? That's so interesting. But is there something else at play here as well? Is there another country at play? Or another... I think that's going to be... This whole paragraph right here is going to be big with the law of 2042. I guarantee it. This is going to be one of the biggest parts. The blackout, figuring out who did it, and people pointing fingers. That's what it's going to be. Former military and combat trained specialists amongst the NOPATs rise up into armed task force to defend themselves as tensions rise. So this is a big part of who we are in the game. We're going to get specialists, and they're going to, like, basically we will be the specialists in the game, kind of like Warzone, but there'll be really high customization apparently. But each specialist, you can have whatever weapon you want, but they all have a perk. That's what it is, basically. So that will be interesting. I'm kind of I'm skeptical because I don't really like the idea of specialists. I want to play my own character. I want to build my own character. I don't want to have a generic name and like follow, like, I don't want to look like some of the characters in there. So I hope the customization is really on point with each of these specialists. This is the last paragraph. It says, the brink of war. A food and fuel shortage ignites a shadow war between the US and Russia. To maintain plausible deniability, both sides field NOPAT task force as proxies in escalating conflicts over resources, promising the refugees a piece of what's left. So this is our role. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be a NOPAT that's basically attached to either US or Russia, fighting the other side to try and give ourselves a foothold in the world. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. 2042, open war is imminent. NOPATs have no choice but to choose sides, fighting not for a flag, but their future. Their war is their story. And then you can click join the fight. and you can choose a platform. Let's pull one of these up real quick, and go over to the Ultimate Edition so we can see all the perks. So this is what I was saying about specialists. You will basically get a specialist, right, with a certain name, but the customization is high. My worry is that it's going to be, you know, kind of like Warzone, where everything's behind a paywall. It is EA, but, you know, we don't know. We don't know. There's battle passes, so that's good. Like, I like the battle pass system. Give us a free route with battle pass, and then give us a paid route that's all cosmetic. I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. I think that's cool. I just hope that, unlike Warzone, things are balanced, camos are balanced, and it doesn't get, you know, there isn't a meta straight away very quickly. I don't really like that all that much. But just to point out some of the stuff that I said, and we'll mute this because we don't want to hear it. So you are going to be playing as an expat. These are expats right here. I think this is even a better place of showing it right here. You're all these expats. But look at the customization. There's really cool customization right there. I want to look like these soldiers, not a specialist. That's what I want to look like. Obviously, we've got big vehicle. Look at that. So cool. Big emphasis on vehicles in this game. You know, and kind of giving a call back to OG Battlefields. I didn't play much Battlefield when I was younger. When they started to kick off with Battlefield 4, it was when I was training for the Royal Marines. So I didn't really get to play it all that much. But overall, I think it looks fantastic. So before we end, though, let's go over here and quickly look at this interview. You can check this interview out by Inverse. There's specifically one thing I wanted to go over: battle passes and all this different stuff about balancing the game, battle royales, how they're not doing a battle royale. But there's specifically here, let me zoom this in a little bit more. How does Battlefield 2042's narrative intersect with multiplayer? So let me read this first. Narrative elements will be fed through battle pass seasons. They'll be unique to those specific time periods where players are present. Narrative will also be found on the maps, as well as backstories for various specialist characters. After learning part of the story, things will slowly start coming together, allowing you to understand the world of Battlefield 2042. The narrative is basically like that. You'll have to keep playing to understand what's going on. Now, it does talk about specialists real quick, and it just says that they have their own story, they're not random characters, and that they'll be revealed later on this week. But this here basically reminds me of what Warzone does, where we get a little bit of story every season. And I don't mind that. I think that's a really cool, unique way of telling stories. I don't think it's a cop-out. Like, they can obviously put in a lot of story in this game by having little tidbits of lore, and I like that. Like, if there's a new specialist that comes out and there's a bit of lore and it so happens to connect to another specialist, you can start connecting the dots, and before you know it, like this person says, you can start building a narrative and actually seeing what's going on in this world. And I think, even though that's not going to be the forefront of the game, I'm going to personally really, really enjoy it. So let me know in the comments, do you want me to start digging for this stuff in the game? That's what I think I'm going to do. Instead of, like I do with my Call of Duties and my other video games, I usually play through all the games. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, maybe when it comes out, put out one video a week where I'm digging into the lore of 2042 and trying to understand the story and the current affairs and the agenda of these countries and figuring out what's going on in this world. And that really excites me because looking, like, trying to dig for lore has that, it's like, I first got that tidbit from when I played Destiny for the first time, and they had the ghosts flying around and you could pick them up and it told you a bit of lore. I was so fascinated because firstly, the lore was good, and secondly, you had to go and hunt for it, which made it even more exciting. So if they do something similar, I'm not saying they have to, you know, go around and find things on the map like that, but if there's little tidbits of story that we can connect together and we start being like, oh crap, that's how that happened and that's how that happened, that gets me really excited, and I most definitely want to do videos on that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Would you like to see that? Because I am so down for making it if you're up for it. But overall, I think it looks good. They've confirmed there's no battle royale. They're saying it's something different. They're saying it's called where is it? Hazard Zone, and it scratches a similar itch. We'll have to find out. Definitely go and check out this Q&A. It's really cool. It's a good article. Inverse did really well with this one. But we are getting more video footage of actual gameplay on Sunday. My guess is going to be during the Xbox presentation. I will be reacting to that live here on YouTube, so join me. What I'll do is I'll react to the whole thing, and if they show that gameplay, I'll basically snip that out and upload it as a separate video as well, guys, okay? But definitely come and join us on our live streams. Like I said, we are now live streaming here on YouTube and not on Twitch. That's really important to me, because I think that it's going to get a lot more people watching these videos and interacting with me, especially members, because not many people go over to Twitch and watch videos there. So we're going to be enjoying live streams over here and interacting with you guys and playing with some fun people, like the people over at the Geek channel that we've been playing with a lot. And also I'm playing a bunch of games with Gen Dick Commando and Bootnet Gamer, fellow Royal Marines and YouTubers. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell for when I do go live. But for now, members, you're amazing. I love you. I couldn't do this without you. I honestly couldn't make videos every single day if it wasn't for these members right here. So thank you for supporting the channel as much as you do. I really appreciate it. Jack Stapleton, Jackie Cruz, James Stunson, Res Frost, Sean Gable, SP, The Super Show. I appreciate you all. I really do. Links down below to all my socials, including the 2 channels, Original Human Geek, where we play D&D and a bunch of other stuff with the lads in the Geek Squad, and then Original Adventures, where it's vlogs with me and my wife who are converting a US school bus and traveling in the United States. If you're interested in that, links down below. Until next time, guys, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.